Hi, thanks for stopping by my channel. This is Anna's Aqua Home, where I sew, craft, and DIY. I love making handmade items for my home and also to give away as gifts. I have been enjoying being in the craft room. It is getting a little chilly. Well, it's been very cold here in Central Florida, but it finally got a little bit better. And then today, I went to work, and going to work was really beautiful. It was like 55 degrees. It was a little bit raining, but it wasn't windy. It wasn't like super cold. And then by the time we came out for lunch, it was freezing cold. It was windy. I know a lot of the country has been getting it a lot worse than Florida has, but it's been really cold. So I've been enjoying staying in the evenings as much as possible and doing a few different things. I wanted to show you a couple projects that I was working on. One was this little tiny like a mini quilt or a mug rug. It's made with an antique feed sack quilt hexagon or flower garden square, and I'd gotten this. They were just selling a whole bunch of the squares at an antique store I went to, and so I picked up a few of those many years ago. So I just got to putting a tiny little binding on there, so it's still pinned. I have to hand sew this. I did hand sew already, and I think that turned out really pretty. So I'm thinking this is going to go up behind on the wall. I'm going to pin this up, but this isn't done. Another thing that I've been working on that isn't done is I've been sewing a whole bunch of strips. I took 2.5-inch strips and put some batting in between them and sewed them together, and so I've got a whole bunch of really pretty ones. I'm going to do hopefully a couple different projects with these coming up. So I wanted to go ahead and get a good batch of these going because they do take quite a long time of just sitting there and sewing. So I've been watching a movie, doing some of those. I still have some cut. I think I want to cut a few more before I jump on and actually assemble that project. It's not a project I've ever done before, so we're going to do it together on camera, but there's a sneak peek of a future project. But all these colors are so springy. I absolutely love them. So it's definitely getting me in the spring mood. All right. And then today, I know Valentine's Day, I've done a couple Valentine's Day videos. This one, I made corner bookmarks before. I know so many makers are making them right now and selling them. But I thought of this idea, and then I actually saw someone else do it, but I had the idea first, is a heart corner bookmark. And so I've never made these before. I'm trying to think of how exactly I'm going to do it. I'm really excited though. So come along with me as I try to make some heart corner bookmarks for this Valentine's Day to give away as gifts. All right, so the heart corner bookmarks that I made previously were 3.5 by 3.5, and that way they went down to like 3 inches across. So I think that's going to be my first step, is going ahead and cutting 2 3.5 by 3 inch squares. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do one completely of this fabric and then one completely of this fabric. I know you can do them like two-toned, but with it being a heart, I think I'm going to keep them both. So if I have what I'm planning correctly, I'm going to do 4 squares. So 4 squares of this, 4 squares of this. All right, so now that we have these, I'm going to go ahead and do it into a heart shape. And I think I'm going to stack all 4 of them at once and just go ahead and cut it. You can actually fold this middle one, and that way it'll show you the center mark. I'm just going to freehand these. You could always go ahead and get like an actual template online of a heart, but for right now, this is going to be as good as it's going to be. All right, I did the one side. Let me go ahead and see if I can fold this over and then use this as a template to cut the others. We'll see if this works. Alrighty, so there are our 4 templates for that. This gingham, I'm just getting into working with gingham because I know it's been so popular, but it is very, there's a good thing about it in that there's really no right side or wrong side to the gingham. But the bad side is it's very slippery, I've noticed. So might be using some pins on this one. But yeah, the good thing is there's no like right or wrong side, and it is really thin, and so I think the thinness is actually going to help as I sew these and turn them inside out. The bookmark won't be too thick. Alright, so now that I have these, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 and 2, and I'm going to sew around, leaving a small opening. Same goes for this side. I'm going to sew around, leaving a small opening. And then these, you need to put right sides together. And then we're going to sew around these, leaving a small opening. So let's get our sewing machine and do some sewing. Alrighty, here are our finished little hearts, and I'm going to go ahead and clip off the points. I don't know what happened to my tiny little scissors. They're probably around here somewhere, but I'm just going to clip off these points and then also cut a notch right down towards the middle of my heart. So not too many places that you need to cut. Now it's time to turn it all right side out. So they're just very, very small. And I don't want to pull the fabric too much, especially on this gingham. All right, so now I've got my 2 pieces. I've got my 2 blue and my 2 pink. We're gonna sew all the way around the edge, just 1/8 of an inch from the edge, as close as you can get to the edge. And we're gonna catch these little pieces to make sure to close up that little hole. And so just go all the way around and do that to all 4 of them. How cute are these? I've got my 4 little heart shapes, and these 2 are one bookmark, these 2 are another bookmark. So what we're going to do is layer them on top of each other, and we're just going to sew right up the 2 straight sides. So we're going to leave all this open to slide into the book. So we're just going to put these 2 together, and then you're going to go sew right up this straight side and then right up that straight side. Here's how they are for such a little project. They did take a fair amount of time. I mean, it's less than half an hour, so it's not like a huge chunk of time for 2 of them, but still, they're just so intricate with all the little tiny curves and all the little tiny parts. So here they are, my 2 corner bookmarks. Let me show you how they work. So you can see I have my other patchwork bookmark in here. But you pretty much just take the page that you're on and slide them in. How cute is that? I really like how that looks. I think that's adorable. Let me find a good one for this page. This one also super cute. So I really like how that looks. Let me know in the comments. They kind of need a good iron, so I definitely need to do that. But I think for my first little heart bookmarks, these are adorable. They don't look as different from the outside, but once you open them up, you can see just how adorable they are. And then you could certainly do one color on one side and another color on the other side. I chose to make these both the same color, but I just love how these turned out, and I hope you do too. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I hope you go make something today.